Hello channel members. I hope that you are all doing well. I'm doing a Celtic cross, and at the center I have the moon and the Seven of Swords. If you just look at the coloring of these cards and the fact that the moon shows up twice, what I'm sensing here is it feels very mysterious. It's as if you're in the middle of a situation where you're not actually quite sure what to do, but there's a sense that whatever is taking place in divine timing, as in this moment was always going to happen. The way that all of these things are sort of occurring right now feels very divinely orchestrated. What's going to happen and as things unfold is hidden from you, although you have a sense. I'm also seeing that you're needing to move very carefully. I'm hearing calculated steps, steady progress. It's like you have this complete surety that you're going to prevail, okay? Whatever situation you find yourself in, that everything on the other side is going to be like almost perfect. Okay, so you're quite sure about that, but the way there is unclear. In the area of what's crossing you, I have the Fool, and the colors again are standing out to me. This moment is asking a lot of you. I'm not saying that any of this is beyond you. Like I said, you feel equipped, you feel prepared. Okay, you don't feel like you could be better prepared at all. Okay, I see this from her yellow dress. And look at this, what do we call the sacred geometry of what she's falling into. It's like you know that you're falling into a divine plan. That's how this feels. And when I look at the coloring of these cards, this turquoise sort of bluish green, you're aware that this moment again is a big part of your healing. And what I'm hearing is almost like conversations that you have had, intimate conversations with the divine over a very long time. Okay, things that maybe before you were not sure you were correct on. Very deep, intuitively felt promises about a time that you would encounter in your life. Okay, and I don't know if you ever pictured what it would feel like to move through this time, but you're here now. And it's as if a lot of these whispers that you've heard before from the divine regarding how things would unfold are beginning to unfold right before your eyes. And so that's why you do not want to divulge too much information, divulge too much of your plans, your movements. You know, I would say strategy, but it appears currently there is no strategy. Okay, a master strategist turned child surrendering to the divine. I'm literally getting that there is no other plan here. There is no other backup here but the divine. In your recent past, Two of Pentacles and Four of Cups, this is the time just before this where you were trying to figure out what you're going to do. You could sort of see the direction things were taking. I'm seeing a sense of denial, okay, trying to weigh things up, not really happy with the circumstances, okay. You never really wanted this moment to play out. However, you were told, okay, you were told, and you know that you're prepared, okay, but you know, just out of, you knew it had to happen, I suppose, but you would rather not. Given the option, you would have done it differently. But there is a part of you that also wanted things to happen in this way. It feels like it's because of the nature of the situation. There is a sense of only being able to reap the kind of justice, the kind of redemption that is only available through this happening in this way. I'm referring to timing. And so this is like going to a war that you don't want to go to, but going because you are dedicated. Okay. And because, let's say, in whatever world, it's the right thing to do. And I hate to speak of war, but what I'm referring to is self-defense, the right to defend yourself, the right to set things straight, to not take things lying down, to stand up for yourself, and to let the truth be revealed. Not necessarily through action or through your words, but through the revelation of what was created. What was created that you had no control over, that you had no say over, but that in your conversations with God, God said, don't go this way, go that way. Okay? And so the former you might have gone this way, for example, lashing out, fighting back. But now you know that that's not the way you're meant to spend your energy. And so in the meantime, you've been developing yourself. You have been groomed. That's the word I got. You have been groomed by the divine. Okay? You can also see this, really, you can see this as yourself, but it's something so far inside you and beyond your grasp is what I'm referring to when I refer to God. And this route is the only way you would have been able to prepare for this uncertainty, for this moment of rising. At the top of mind, I have the Knight of Swords. And as soon as I saw this card, I heard it's going down. Okay. And then this Page of Pentacles flipped out in reverse. And what I heard was nothing to lose. Okay. So this is like a big moment. And to combine these words, what I'm getting is it's going down and you have nothing to lose. And that's actually the message I've been getting all along. And there is definitely a sense of drama around this. Another thing I'm getting from this Page of Pentacles in reverse, it sounds like no more options. And this is not just you. Okay? This is not just you. This is also your surroundings. No more options. There's only one way. There is only one way here. In your subconscious, I have the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, and underneath the deck, I have the Ace of Pentacles. What's happening here is almost these underthoughts around how you're not going to retaliate, okay, but how you're actually going to embrace the gifts that you've been given, okay, and be very intentional about how you move forward. Okay, so you actually are fighting in this, let's call it a fight, okay, even though, you know, it feels maybe to others like it's a fight, but to you, it's actually redemption. You are going to war, okay, but you're not going to fight in this war. In this war, you are going to offer truth. You are going to offer love. You are going to offer your gifts. You are putting forward offerings that have been put into your heart by God, that you're going to be creating value out of. Okay, that is the only option. And I can tell that you weren't sure before whether this was the answer, but now that you're here, it is the only answer. And it's strange. It's strange because it feels like you're pleased that this is the only answer. And it's strange that this is not something you pursued before in this way. But at the same time, it all makes sense. I've got 2 sevens here. And sevens very much speak about divine timing. They always speak to me about divine timing. And the thing about divine timing is that it comes with a whole lot of other benefits. Okay, it means that you do not have to do this all on your own. It means that if there's something that you're facing where, let's say you feel you do not have the resources, that whatever you need will show up as you need it. It means that preempting everything is not all on your shoulders. It also means that whatever consequences are being suffered by others don't sit on your conscience. In your near future, I have the 6 of Swords, clarified by the 9 of Wands. Can you see how the 6 of Swords is right next to the 7 of Swords? And if you're reading from left to right, what you'll see is almost like the regression of the numbers. And what that's showing me is that you will be creeping away in the night. That's what it feels like getting out in the nick of time. And this 9 of Wands is giving me huge relief energy, like, phew. Do you feel what I'm feeling? As I was shuffling for cards in your surrounding factors, I saw the High Priestess and Justice. And this is that idea that you know that this is divine justice, and you know that you only know this through your intuition. And there in your surrounding factors, we have the World and the Ace of Wands. This is a hot and fiery new beginning. Here on the World card, there's that divine geometry inside this ring that she's in, and all these shapes around her as well. It's almost like she is at the center of this thing that she is falling into. It feels very much like she's at the center of the universe here. You know, like all of these events are happening around and within her, and that she has one job, and that job is to listen, to trust, and to follow her intuition. In your advice, I have Temperance and Strength. Okay, with 2 major arcana, this is definitely speaking to me around this being a big moment. Okay, and the importance of taking this advice in particular, and that is to contain your energy, okay, and to move in a measured manner, and to show courage during this time. You already know these things mentally, but they're reinforcing that that's all you need to do. I'm also receiving something here about your perspective. Currently, as I do this reading, there is nothing wrong with your perspective, but they want you to stay mindful of it as you move through. The reason being, a lot of the things you're going to encounter, some you're already encountering, are going to result in projections. And that's what they mean by contain your energy, protect your energy. Okay, to protect your energy, all that's required here is for you to stay mindful of projections. It's awareness. Okay, so when you enter a space where someone is feeling threatened, remember that there's a lion inside of you. Okay, protect your mental energy. Protect even your empathic energy is protected mentally, because you will feel those projections. At times you might actually feel them as your own. That's why they want you to stay aware. You can walk into a place where someone is feeling threatened, okay, perhaps from something you did or said, or something that was said or done for you or about you, or whatever it is. You know your truth, but you may feel this as your own feeling, and so you may internally react with some form of feeling threatened, and they're saying don't feel threatened. That's a projection. Stay calm, stay measured, follow your heart, and keep moving. Keep it moving. In the area of what you want the most and fear the most, when I saw the 6 of Cups, what I heard was you want things to be fair. Okay, there is also a fear around this, because the 10 of Swords is telling me that you so much want relief as well, and you understand karma so well, and so you understand that this relief comes at a cost to someone else, but you're also very much aware that you have carried a cost. You have carried a cost, and so you kind of understand that this is how it needs to happen, but you are apprehensive about how things will unfold. Okay, so you wish that things could stay fair, but in order for things to stay fair, this is kind of how it is. And so there is slightly like a battle of the heart, but also a respect for karma. Okay, because without karma, you may not be seeing your justice. See, I'm seeing 14:14 on the clock, and they're saying that's okay. That's okay, but again, please stay mindful. Temperance. Protect your energy. Okay, because that thing that you want the most and fear the most is actually revealing that's what they said in the advice. Protect your energy, because that is a projection. That is a projection. And they're saying that it's actually going to steal your joy. You know, what's coming back to me is this idea of there being a lot of drama, and something that's kept creeping in between all the cards is just, if I zoom out of all of this, I feel like you have such an eventful life. I feel like you're on stage and there are so many things happening and you are the main character, and they're saying, yeah, some of the stuff is dark, and some of this stuff is so light and some of it's so beautiful. And if you were ever to write a story, that story would read so well and would teach so many people so many things. And they're saying, don't miss the moment. Don't miss the moment because you're getting sucked into the drama. They're saying that if this was you on stage and this was your show, even if your character brings all of these dramatic things, okay, don't miss the idea that it is a gift in itself to be the main character, to be on stage, to know that a divine plan is unfolding, to have known before that you'd receive justice, and to watch it playing out. They're saying, this is a moment to remember. This is not a moment to get sucked into what other people need, all of their well-being. They're saying that you've always kept other people's well-being at the front of mind, but they're saying you have no more options now. This is it. And they want you to process all of this that you are receiving as you receive it. They want you to process it, transmute it. Don't let any of it get trapped. A lot of this energy you're receiving, and I'm feeling an increase of energy as I speak through these words. It's like surging through my body, out of my arms. They're saying all of this energy that you're receiving is to be transmuted. They're also showing me how it's actually this energy is at work in your body as it enters, as you receive information, as it moves through your cells. It is transforming things in your body. Okay? It's like tingly. It's tingly. It feels so weird to express stuff like this sometimes, but they're saying keep it moving, keep it flowing, because there's so much more that this energy is doing for you than you're able to be aware of. They're saying that your senses could get like distributed in so many different directions at this time, because when energy in increased amounts surges through your body and into your space, into your field, it can create chaos. And so it's very important to channel it. Okay, and as you channel it, that idea around how it's channeled, where it exits and lands up, that is part of the divine plan. But they're saying that this is divinely orchestrated. You are a channel, you are a vessel, and so act that way and use this energy. Use this energy. And then I heard, don't let the energy use you. Okay, and how I'm understanding those words is this chaotic energy, if not channeled, lands in the places that want to use it and then returns as a projection back at you. And so when you channel it according to where your heart is telling you to send it, okay, how you're channeling it, it gets used appropriately. So don't let it sit, because it will get used. And they're speaking to me about mischief. It's as if mischief plays out with your energy. They almost want me to point out to you, the cards are falling. They almost want me to point out to you that your unused energy is being used. So they're emphasizing the need for you to occupy the direction of your energy, because while you are not occupying it, it is occupied. So they're saying you will be busy, you and your energy will be busy. And so allow that busyness to work for you. They're zoning in on time. They're saying time is where energy is used. And so mind your time, because if you leave too many spaces for your time, that is where your energy gets captured, in that time. So they're saying maximize your time by using it, and maximize on your energy by using it. They're also speaking to me about your body, your energy space, your field is permeable. And so they're showing me that, be aware of your field of protection, so that in your relaxing time, your mind doesn't wander into these projections. Okay, because once you place your awareness on these projections, you're inside the projection. And so they're just sharing some tools here, because you will become aware of these projections. And so to stay aware of them. Okay, this is all back to protecting your energy. And in your outcome, I have the Death card, the 10 of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. And so this is showing me, again, with the world, it's showing me that you have reached the end of something major in your life. This is a new beginning. This bright star in the night sky that shows in the middle of this death picture's face, where the face would be. They're saying, focus on that, okay? And they're showing me with the 10 of Wands and the Knight of Wands, this is it. This is the end of that heaviness that you've been carrying. And they, with the fire energy, that's showing me that this is actually going to happen quickly. This is going to happen quickly. It's very dramatic, but stay focused, okay? Sometimes with fire, it's as if, okay, they're showing me this in like sort of two ways, and this is based on perspective. So this is a fire, okay? For some, this fire is so hot and so burning, but this is for someone who's standing still where all of the things that they've built around them are burning. The difference with you is that it's almost giving me like phoenix rising energy. And I think I used that word rising earlier. I did. It's giving me like phoenix rising. And so you are burning. But when you yourself burn, it's a different kind of burning, because you're not stagnant, you're transforming. And so you're using that fire. Whereas someone else stuck in old systems, stuck in an old structure, outdated ways of thinking, hoping that the things that they've held up for so long that are toxic will still stand. Watching them burn is painful, and so they stand still in shock. You're not that person. Okay, so they're saying move with this energy and don't succumb to the fears that are projected onto you as you move through. Shoo, I'm going to leave this reading here. That was an interesting energy, just moving through it. It felt like I was moving fast, but gradually. Okay, that a lot was happening in each moment, but that I had a grip. That's how it felt. And I think that's what they want me to tell you about your energy and how to move through this. And they're saying you are doing phenomenally. They are saying to repeat to you that you are prepared. They really want you to know that, and they are very proud of you. They are very proud of your reaction, of your response, even in those moments where you might feel those are not your proudest. They're saying, we are so proud of you. We are proudest of you. They're saying that you are human. And sometimes when you snipe, just remind yourself that person had it coming. Okay? And so you do not only trust yourself in moments that are measured, you also trust yourself, because if something comes out of your throat and something comes out of you as a reaction, that does not mean you lost control. That means you knew what was coming out of you and that it was on its way out. They're saying you understand your words, you understand the things that you say. And so even in those moments where you feel, are not your proudest, they're saying, no, there are times where what you're going to say is going to bite, and that's okay. Thank you all so much for being with me. I feel like this reading, I'm going to release it to members, but I will give it a bit of time and release it to the main channel, because I feel like this energy is important. It's just been saying that to me throughout the reading. That's how it's felt. Sending you all so much love.